Welcome to Chart Chronicles on Twitchy Tuesdays. Today we are diving into this dynamic conjunction between Mars, Uranus, and Algol. The exact conjunction is for Uranus and Mars at 26 degrees, 19 arc minutes of Taurus. Under our new format, we are delving into lunations, stations, ingresses, and obviously some very important aspects, providing early insights categorized as either the Zodiac Spotlight or Chart Chronicles. Our weekly cleaning out the broom closet and Twitchy tip have moved over to my other channel, Twitchy Tuesdays Live. The July 9th through 15th live is out now, so you can go and check that out if you're looking for day by day insights, tarot, all of the fun things. Doing it live can get your questions answered live too. Good things. So that is at Twitchy Tuesdays Live. Let's go ahead and get into our beautiful chart for today. Wow, we've got a lot to talk about. I've already marked up the chart just so that way you can see visually exactly what I'm going to be talking about as I pull some of the tarot. We'll go over what this configuration in the middle looks like, but I want to draw your attention first of all to this big green box with the big black arrow pointed to it, because that is where you want to look at your natal chart and find, first of all, the sign of Taurus, which is a circle with the horns like the bull. And then you are looking for the 26 degrees of Taurus. Now, in this chart, that is up in the 10th house. It could be in a totally different house for you. But this is how you're going to be able to then interpret the energies of what Mars conjunct Taurus, also conjunct Algol, as we begin to talk through it, how that might affect you with what house it's in, etc. So for those that are new to my channel, welcome. For those that have been here before, thank you for joining me again. This is exciting. I am very excited to do this chart. We're going to be talking about a really fun aspect called a cradle, which you see here in the purple. But let's first dive into this energy. We'll talk about what it kind of means, looks like, how this might show up collectively as well as personally. And then we'll get into the cradle aspect of this and what the cradle is really here for. So Mars conjunct Uranus and Taurus, 26 degrees, 19 arc minutes. You can see that the little star asterisk, that is Algol. That is at 26 degrees, 30 arc minutes. So we are at a degree conjunction for all three. We are off on the arc minutes, so it's not an exact conjunction with Algol, but damn close enough. So this is 7:15. This conjunction goes exact at 9:04 a.m. Central Standard Time. As soon as this conjunction is over, Mars will actually continue to move on. And at 3:07 p.m. Central Standard Time on July 15th as well, Mars will then conjunct Algol at 26 degrees, 30 arc minutes of Taurus. So first thing, let's just level set. This is a day where the energies are at its most, like its highest peak. It is at the accumulation of everything. It's the apex of the story. It's the crescendo. It's like all the way at the top of the hill. We will begin though to feel this energy on 7/7. That is when Uranus gets to the 26 degrees of Taurus. So that will begin to build. On that day, Mars will be just under 6 degrees away at 20 degrees 32 arc minutes. So we'll have this 7/7 kind of, it's a portal day, portal opening, energy present. And then we're going to build up to the 15th, up to this exact conjunction, and then feel the energy wane away as Mars begins his trek towards the sign of Gemini, which he will enter into on 7/20. So, given the fact that this really happens over a very short time frame, that's kind of the impetus of this meetup and Mars conjunct Uranus transits in general. It's potent, but thankfully it's quick. Mars moves. Now, if Mars is in a year where he's doing a retrograde dance with Uranus, it might be a little more potent. But thankfully, in 2024, this is going to be a moment in July. We are going to have that moment see its, big grand finale and then begin to wane away in the month of July. And that will, then Mars will get into Gemini, be there with Jupiter, and we continue to move on. What's not so quick is the whole Uranus and Algol story, which is for a whole other episode. So what does a good Mars, well, good. Let's just go there. Hold on, we've got some things coming out. The Seven of Cups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. The Seven of Cups is just all around. Let me get these cards here and I'll tell you what popped out and we'll see how these messages want to come. So, first and foremost, the Two of Swords popped out. Whew. All right. We have the Moon, Seven of Cups, the King of Cups, the Six of Rods, the Eight of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles. They wanted 8 cards. 8 cards flew. 8 cards it is. Okay. There is a deep, deep desire, deep clarity, deep understanding, um, deep knowledge, something deep within us for change. This desire to, wherever it comes from, the moon, wherever it comes from, whatever is, where is the moon in this chart? Let's see. The moon. Of course, the moon is down in Scorpio. Speaking of deep and, deep and transformative things. Just sitting there with Pallas Athene having a lovely time. So, and in the fourth house in this chart. Again, could totally be different with where your natal chart is, but in this one, even further at the very, very bottom of the chart, sinking into this deepness, sinking into this desire for things to change very quickly. This feeling that, again, there's no sight in this Two of Swords. It is a feeling, an intuition, an understanding that things cannot go on the way that they have been. Whatever is, and I'm not even going to say, I mean, depending upon where you're at in your journey, this may feel like blocking you. But if you're at that point in your journey where it's just, I am ready for the next level, not necessarily that it's a block, but there's something that is, there's a pathway that is beginning to open up that we feel intuitively. We know in the depths of our soul that there's something that is opening, a pathway that is opening. And it's time for a change. And it's no holds bar. Like, it's no holds bar. It's time for something else to come in. This is now, I'm showing the Seven of Cups. It is time for something else to come in. It is time for something new. It's time to take whatever these intuitive messages are, because these are all messages here. They're all pathways and areas that you can go. The ability to like see and discern, all of this is really potent and ripe for change. Very quick change. Looking here, we've got the Six of Rods present. We've got some of that fire. Although looking across this is a lot about intuitive energy, which as it should be. We are in Cancer season. There is a reason why this is happening in Cancer season. So it is a lot about how we're feeling. It is a lot about the action that we're taking. I mean, truly, the only card in here that I see represented representing here to stand up for Mars is this Six of Rods. Everything else is the Cancerian energy, and it's these pentacles at the end, which brings in the Taurian energy. So here's this thing like where we have this deep knowing and desire to change. There is there's a need to do it quickly, but a need to do it in a way that, how do I want to put this with this Seven of Cups? In a way that supports our grandest desires, in a way that brings these Seven Cups to fruition. With the King of Cups here, with the Eight of Cups here, that brings these cups into fruition in such a way that, you know, we know, let me come to this Eight of Cups. We know what we need to leave behind. We know what things need. Um, Again, when you look at the aspect, and hmm, all right, we're flipping back and forth, but we're still on this desire for things to change very quickly. I will say one other thing before I get into what this card was reading is pivot energy. It's going to become important here in this conversation in a card. High pivot energy. And what I'm gaining from this and what I am seeing from these cards is this pivot energy, this desire for things to change quickly is you begin to build all of these cups, right? This is kind of like this fortified wall. You begin to arrange your cups in order. You begin to get your life in order. There was something missing, something that you, again, coming back to this two in this moon, something that you are feeling needs to happen. And so it's time to pivot. That doesn't mean that all of these cups that you built up need to come crashing down. They will stay there. They will support you as you turn around and begin to walk down this new path. They're there. You can tap into these. So even if you get way the fuck down the road, even if you get, let's say, again, this Algol and Uranus energy is going to be here all through 2025. So we've got a year plus of this energy. As you get down that road and as you begin to see the fruits of your labor, Five of Pentacles, as you begin to get the foundations built, this Four of Pentacles, and they begin to show themselves on this earthly plane in these Taurian areas of your life, wherever that's hitting your natal chart, you have access to all that you have done before. Things that might have worked before, things that haven't worked before. You don't lose these cups because you turn away from them. Nobody's saying that. Maybe you never go back to pick them up. That's okay. Maybe they're there to be used by others. Maybe I mean, this is an open road. Looks like a very public space to me. Maybe you're just setting the foundation, the emotional tenor, the fortitude, the beauty, the ability for others to come behind you, see these cups and go, I know now what is possible. I know now what I can do myself. So heavy pivot energy. And again, turning away from those cups because these two cards came out after. There is something profound that is waiting on the other side of that pivot. There is something profound that is waiting on the other side of this Mars Uranus conjunction. There is something profound that ties into this longer story of Uranus conjunct Algol. And I love that the five comes before the four because it's like, all right, I need to walk by and see again. Maybe these are your cups that you're leaving for others to find, but these are the pentacles that others are leaving for you to find. So you take your merry walk past this window of opportunity, this portal, this 7-7 portal here, and you begin to see what's possible. You begin to, in your mind, see how Mars with the Six of Rods can take you further. See See all of the cups that are available to you. Discern how to bring those cups forward in emotional fulfillment the right way at the right time. Be able to intuit the journey that you are about ready to embark upon. And then from there, the very last card, you get this Four of Pentacles. You get the foundation, you get the true strength of everything that you've endured. The Five of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, the Six of Rods, the King of Cups, the Seven of Cups, the Moon, and the Two of Swords gets to build the foundation of this new you. So, from a collective perspective, you may see a lot of accidents that occur during this time, especially on the day 7/15. You may see a lot of volatility out there, volatility in all things that Uranus and Taurus have been working with, volatility in the stock market, volatility in cryptocurrency, volatility in how we get things, how we get our comforts, our security, like cyber attacks would be somewhere like this. Would be something in here, especially because we do have still in Pluto at 1 degree, still in Pluto. Wow. Let me go ahead and mark this up so you can see what I'm talking about. Still in Aquarius, Pluto at 1 degrees, 3 arc minutes. So you could see that sort of volatility, upheavals around the world, depending upon, different countries have different natal charts and where this hits within that country's natal chart. Something, especially in America, what we've really seen this work with on the collective level is banks and security apparatuses. May see more of that. um, the other thing is Uranus and Taurus has really been working with how we receive goods, like the lines of transportation and the modes of transportation, which bring us all of our goods and services that we need in order to feel comfort in our home. So think about things like food supply lines. Think about things like trade lines, trade supply, so that may be on that collective level where we may see some of those things get disrupted. So be prepared. Again, going back to this Two of Swords along with the Moon, be prepared energetically for these sorts of things because you are going to be having your individual experience and that collective experience. Yes, it's there. Yes, but be able to utilize what we're seeing in the tarot, this Two of Swords and this Moon, to energetically prepare yourself. Maybe this day you do take an energetic break from social media. Maybe you take a day of digital detox, etc., just to help you ground into what is most important, which is you. From a personal perspective, you may see yourself in one of two extremes, or potentially even fluxing between these two extremes quite often. Remember, we're in a heavy pivot energy, which is freaking the fuck out, freaking the fuck out, and innovating the shit out of it. So when I think about Uranus transits, especially with Mars, it is extreme, right? There are extremes to things. And there is a tendency to be extreme with things, just taking it to that next level. And you're like, normally I wouldn't do that. Like, normally that's not my mode. All right, they want other cards because now we're talking about the individual perspective. That's not my mode, right? That's normally, I don't normally take it to 100 real quick. So when we think about freaking the fuck out, that can be a tendency for violence, argumentative, um, being really petty, like saying shit to just say shit and get a reaction from people. Um, and doing it for no other reason than like, look at what I can fuck around and do today. Or just like completely heading out, like going out on, again, I'm just using social media, going out on social media and literally just freaking the fuck out. Maybe you saw, something from that collective perspective and you got triggered and it's just like verbal vomit all over the place. Then on the other side of this extreme is innovating the shit out of it. And here comes the hold, please. I got a card on the ground. The ancestors be talking that judgment. Be talking that judgment. The other thing that came out was this page of cups as we were getting to innovating the shit out of it. So, polarity and balance between the two with this judgment, right? Maybe a little bit of freaking the fuck out is good, but it's the temperance for the extremes, right? What you do during this transit, that is going to place a note, thinking of this trumpet, that is going to place a note out into the universe because this moment is tied to the longer story of Uranus conjunct Algol. So you are going to put a note out into this universe, and that is going to come down in not judgment like, oh, bad, but you're going to have to own the choices that you make during this time frame in the future. These things are going to come back up and you're going to have to weigh out um change, again, more pivot. So think about as you're, how do you temper yourself? How do you energetically support yourself? A little bit of freak the fuck out, that might not be bad. That might be exactly what you need. We just got our whoop. Shout out to Whoop. We just got our whoops. And so we've been kind of digging into some of the whoop stuff. And what I love that Whoop stated in their strain or in their stress, excuse me, is a little bit of stress is actually okay. It depends upon what you're trying to do with it, right? So you need a little bit of stress to get you up, to get you moving, to get that pep in your step, to be able to go run for a couple miles or do a nice workout or whatever. You need to have a little bit of stress. What you don't want is you don't want high amounts of stress for extended periods of time that then puts strain on your body, your muscles, your organs, etc. So, same concept with here, same concept with this double X, with this 20 judgment card. Two X's, you have two choices here. Is, potentially a little bit of freaking the fuck out is great because that can get you to move. It can get you to wake up. It can get you to pay attention and pivot the way that you need to. The other thing is innovating the shit out of it. Now, a little bit of innovating the shit out of it is great. Maybe even a little more than a little bit. Maybe a page of cups amount of, innovating the shit out of you. But if all you're doing is like boom, 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 again, sometimes too much of a good thing is maybe not a good thing. So, what you can find though is when you're sitting in this perfect balance and harmony, is you end up having massive breakthroughs. You end up having key insights that you like you'll come out of it after the 20th and Mars moves into Gemini and then Jupiter wants to take all of these actions and ideas and make them exceedingly large and you'll go, I have no idea where the fuck that even came from. Like it just worked. I just woke up in the middle of the night and that shit just worked. So the threads that end up binding these two things together is and can really um I don't want to say like take over, but can really catapult into one direction or the other very quickly. It can pivot you very quickly, is impulsivity, rebelliousness, and independence. So Mars and Uranus and in Taurus, I mean, impulsivity, rebelliousness, and independence are just great keywords for the conjunction. But between freaking the fuck out, between innovating the shit out of it, between this personal experience that you're having, the Judgment, the Page of Cups, and the Ace of Rods, the tie together, the single rod that binds it together is too impulsive, you may be too innovative. Too impulsive, you may turn to violence. Too impulsive, you may not be able to regulate judgment, the energy that you want to put forth. Rebellious, that's a great thing. Look at this rod just rebelling the fuck out, being the only rod on the card. Like, I'm going to be the most biggest and the most beautiful. That's great. And you know you want to, and yes, I want to do this rebel without a cause, and then you realize what it's going to take for you to do that, then you begin to freak the fuck out, or you embrace it so fully that all of a sudden everybody's like, the fuck is happening right now? Independence, independent AF with this Ace of Rods. I don't need nobody, we good, I can do it on my own. Okay. And then you realize how much you have to do and you begin to freak the fuck out. Or you realize, oh shit, I'm innovating over here on my own. And some people have already figured this out. I actually can innovate off of their innovation. So it's very interesting. Let's take a look at these cards together, right? So let's see. This one is the one that I want over here. Over here. Wow. Like I need to obviously work on my things. So you have judgment, and judgment is really speaking to how you're going to navigate between this Ace of Rods and this Page of Cups. How you're going to navigate between the ability to get things done, the ability to stand proud, and the ability to accept and receive. There's a lot here with Mercury, Mars, and Uranus, and having that as the deep masculine energy that it is in a very prominent feminine sign of Taurus with a very prominent feminine energy of Algol. So it's almost like how well you balance between the masculine and the feminine as this, Uranus Algol story begins to open up and Mars comes in to catapult again that action forward, the decisions that you make, coming back to this Six of Rods, coming back to this Eight of Cups, coming back to this Five of Pentacles, where these are all things that are these are all actions that you need to take, see, understand, interpret, divine, etc. And then that is what ultimately gets you to that Four of Pentacles, to the Judgment. All right, the cradle. So I wanted to talk about this beautiful configuration on this chart. Now, this is not an exact, right? We don't have all of the asteroids and the points and the luminaries all at the exact same degree, but there is a cradle in this chart. So that is outlined here by this yellow, or excuse me, the purple configuration. And let me grab this. So we have Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees, 53 arc minutes retrograde. That's part of this. We also have Juno at 22 degrees even of Virgo. We have the sun finishing out its time in Cancer at 23 degrees, 34 arc minutes. And we have Algol at 26, Uranus at 26, and Mars at 26 degrees of Taurus. Now, what I found really interesting is when you cast for this chart, for the exact moment of this chart, this basket, and again, when you put it in your transit chart for your natal chart, this basket may be up, it may be upside down, it may be tilted to the side, etc. This cradle could be. So, that those are the points that you are looking for. So, a cradle, what is it? Cradle is good for finding creative solutions to problems, which through this entire conversation that we've had seems to be what's needed at this moment. Um, Cradles are great for there's stress and conflict that are involved with cradles, but remember with the Whoop story, not all stress and conflict is bad. Stress and conflict with cradles can lead and really does. That's what the cradle is there for, to lead to significant amounts of personal growth. There's cradle, there's a construction that's needed. If we think about it from a very literal aspect, think about buying a cradle for a baby. Well, it's going to come in a box. There's going to be some assembly required. And if you're anything like me, it's an IKEA furniture challenge. You might need support. Maybe you're not the only one that can build the cradle. Maybe there is some need for, instead of again going out on your own, maybe there is some support that others can give you to help you with that process. It's a time, a cradle in a chart can be an indication that there you need to make the best out of a shitty situation. There's navigate through that shitty situation with innovation. Navigate through it with again, thankfully, Jupiter's in Gemini. Navigate through it with a sense of optimism, a sense of, you know what? Yep, shitty situations here. We're going to work through it. We're going to be able to solve this. Anything is figure outable. With cradles, so again, going back to the like actual literal, think about a cradle. Um, Cradles provide structure for a baby to grow safely. That's what we use them for. We use cradles to be able to ensure that the baby has its own space. You can think of the same thing with a crate if you're not a parent or haven't had children yet. If you have dogs, a crate, some sort of structure that provides a safe space for the individual to grow. Going back to the baby has to grow. That is going to happen. So thinking about this from all of these other aspects, from, you know, Algol, Uranus, Mars, thinking about all of that, all of this is happening. Just like when you have a baby, the baby is going to grow. No options. This is going to happen. No options. The cradle is simply the innovative tool that allows that growth to flourish. It allows the baby to do what it's naturally supposed to do. So when we think about that in the context of our experience, in the context of this Chart Chronicles, this is about being the co-creator of your experience. It's riding the wave versus the wave riding you. Be a co-creator of your experience. I want to pause there. I've got one other thing with this, but what I would like to do while we have all of this in mind and the conversation and the cards out that we just had, I want to get a guidance card for everyone using the Crystal Spirits Oracle. I felt I was trying to look for, all right, what oracle? I feel like we need some guidance. I didn't want to use the tarot for guidance. And then I saw the crystals and it was like, yep, some people may need a little bit extra additional support. We've got enough time. This happens on the 15th, but you can kind of surround yourself with that crystalline energy. And let's see what comes out. Okay. Ancestors, spirits, guides, what is your guidance for this Mars conjunct Uranus on 7/15? What is your guidance for this on this Mars conjunct? All right, I got one. What is your guidance? Are there any other? All right, we got it. Let's see what they said. Ooh, sunstone. Look at how beautiful that is. So this is, of course, number 55. Got some fives present, y'all. All right, let's take a look at sunstone. Like in the back of the book. All right, essential meeting. Let me bring this back up again. Freedom, breaking through obstacles, the power to overcome limitations, knowing you can do it. Spirit speaks. Spirit and the ancestors speak. Many of us can become so used to being restricted that when we have the potential to move beyond limitations, we stare in disbelief at the open door of the cage that has held us in captivity for far too long. I am getting full body goosebumps right now because this cradle in this chart, as we're interpreting these energies, is upside down. It's spilling out, spilling you out. Cage, open, cradle, done. Have you succumbed to the illusion of scarcity consciousness, inaccurately seeing yourself as stuck in old patterns? Yo, Uranus Inc. Telling yourself that the situation is the same as it's always been, when in truth it has begun to shift. Sunstone Spirit's message is that the door really is open. The cradle is open and opportunities await you as you claim your freedom. You have the power to break through barriers. The parameters of your life are not what you thought they were. So much more is available to you than you imagine. So believe in your freedom, spread your wings, and fly. You can do it, for Sunstone Spirit is here to strengthen your resolve to leave the cage far behind you as you drink in the pleasure of being free and ready to live in a new way. You can choose from an array of opportunities the conscious universe has made available to you. So let go and be liberated. If that is not what Uranus wants, the conscious universe will help you avoid pitfalls and wrong turns that will that wind you back around to the same old, same old. Yeah, we ain't for that shit no more. Simply enjoy this shift. Now is your time to experience the thrill of exhilarating freedom. So, crystal spirit meditation, working with the sunstone, helps us release our old emotions, be strong, and own our leadership qualities, which do not arise from a place of ego, but from a place of inspired leadership for the highest good of all. Sunstone teaches us to shine authentically without fear. So there you go. Sunstone. That is what you're looking for. That is the crystal that you want to bring into your energy. All right, to close out this episode, I have one last thing to say. there can be a high likelihood where you just need to do things yourself. And that's great. And you want to take that on. You want to do things your own way and then involve others. What you want to be careful of is that you're not doing it from a place that, well, since nobody else wants to do it, I'll take it on. Or nobody can do it the way that I do it, and I know it needs to get done right. That is going to be in that vibration of freaking the fuck out instead of the innovation, right? Innovating the shit out of it. So the cradle is pouring you out and kind of showcases again, if you're IKEA furniture challenged, it may be better to include others. You don't have to include a bunch of people, but again, it's all how you're working with the energy. So I was thinking about pivot, and of course, every time I use the word pivot, all I can think about is the Friends episode. So I am including a link for the Friends episode clip where Ross, Chandler, and Rachel try to move Ross's couch upstairs, which I think it's personally one of my favorites, favorite little clips. And I think perfectly gives a visual for this conversation that we just had here with the cards. I think it all ties it together. So I hope you enjoy that video. It's hysterical. Love that clip. All right, we are ending, my friends. I ask you, if you are finding value in the information here today, to hit that thumbs up or the heart, subscribe or follow. Check out our other content, including the Twitchy Tuesday live channel where cleaning out the broom closet and the Twitchy tip of the week can be found. We go live, we can answer your questions live. We do much more tarot, and it is just super fun. I love doing those lives. So, good times had for all. May your days be filled with enchantment, your nights be guided by the stars, and your spirit forever be in tune with the cosmic dance. Keep those third eyes open, my fellow Twitchy seekers. Until next time, blessed be, and stay twitchy, y'all.
In the cosmic dance, where stars align, Milani guides us through signs divine, astrology secrets in the night sky, revealed in her sessions where mysteries lie. Heal, thrive, grow in the mystic flow on Twitchy Tuesdays where the curious go. Tarot cards spread futures foretold in Milani's realm. Watch the magic unfold. A sage in the digital, a guide in the night, her wisdom profound, her insights bright from the depths of the occult to the heights of the soul. She leads us on journeys that make us whole. Under the moon's gentle glow, through the tarot secrets show, astrological paths so vast, in Milani's world the die is cast. Heal, thrive, grow in the mystic flow on Twitchy Tuesdays where the curious go. Tarot cards spread futures foretold In Milani's realm, watch the magic unfold. Join the quest in the twitching light, where Milani unveils the mystical night. Follow, subscribe in this magical space on a journey of discovery in time and space.